Audiotree Live. It is Tuesday, July 11th, 2017, and we are very honored to have in the studio with us today, Fruit and Flowers. Take it away whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. watching Audiotree live with Fruit and Flowers. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks for
That
having us.
was an amazing first few songs. Oh my God, super good. So you guys rolled in on this amazing bus. I think we have some footage in it. It'll be in the it'll be put in post, I think. So how did you guys get that bus?
Craigslist.
Craigslist, really?
The Hamptons.
The Hamptons, like
Craigslist.
the
Well,
Hamptons?
there's actually a small documentary that we haven't released. It's like 3 minutes long about the night we bought the bus
What
at
happened?
her friend Tom's.
Oh, Sylvia.
Anyway.
Her name is Sylvia.
Yeah.
How'd you guys get that name?
She
It was
had
her given name.
Oh, okay.
We thought about changing it, and then
At first I was gonna be like Sylvia Plath, but I feel like that doesn't
Well, she
necessarily
does have
bode
some
well for her.
issues.
She's a little suicidal.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, I heard she broke down on the way here. I don't want to like make you guys think of
the
bad
shop
things,
we
but
stopped at
actually,
and
it
the
wasn't
town
that
we got
bad.
caught in was like very adorable. It was in Canada,
we're in Canada.
Strathroy,
Strathroy.
Yes.
outside of London,
Okay, cool.
and
London, Ontario.
we
Outside of London, England.
we found some new
Yeah.
Canadian
Very
parents that
outside.
adopted us and took us to their house for the night and
That's
drove
so
us
nice.
back. It
Lori
was
and
super
Jerry.
nice.
Sorry, Mom
Lori
and
and
Dad.
Jerry.
I have a new mom and dad.
So you guys were
And-
there. How long were you guys stranded for?
Just
A day.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, we had to cancel 2 shows.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
stranded on a Sunday, and so there's literally nothing open.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Except, it's probably for the best. Honestly, meeting Lori and Jerry was really, really beautiful.
So they
We-
took you in and
Yeah,
housed you and clothed not they
They,
clothed
they
you.
did.
They
clothe
blanketed us.
They
That's so
blanketed.
nice.
And they fed us.
They lived right actually on the border. Like they had this river dividing at the St. Clair River, so you can see Michigan on the other side.
What's it called?
St. Clair.
St. Clair.
No, Sarah.
Oh,
Sarnia.
Sarnia.
Oh,
It
that's
was, it was
amazing.
kind of like Narnia, but not. It just rhymes.
More watery.
But yeah.
Yeah. So there was no like talking animals.
It was a magical place, but
No.
I don't think the animals
The
talked.
shop, all the guys at the shop were super competent and really friendly. Patrick, the owner, is like they're all really into music and they were so excited.
They got our record.
Yeah, they bought a
my
record
gosh,
and,
that's
and we
awesome.
signed it, and then they fixed it in like 3 hours and they had all the parts. Thank God.
And
So
they invite us next year for a festival or
Oh
something.
yeah, they
like-
said they
Or
have
they-
a
they do a
like
truck
a
festival.
annual party, and they
Dude.
invited us to come back and play it. And I think we made a pact when we were on the bus towards Chicago that we would go back to like arrange a Canada tour around trying to come back to this truck shop for their party.
I feel like that sounds amazing, actually. You should do-
Why else?
But we were really
Honestly.
sad to miss the 2 shows because we like Fort Wayne a lot.
Yeah.
and Bloomington was so promising, and they were so kind. They went ahead with the show even though we couldn't get there, and they wound up sending us some donations they got at the door
Oh my gosh.
to help us repair it.
That's amazing.
He was
These
so
strangers are so
kind.
nice everywhere.
Strangers are so good.
Oh, shout out to strangers.
Shout out to strangers, usually.
So you guys were supposed to go to Fort Wayne and Bloomington.
Yeah.
Well, I bet you guys will be there again at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I believe
Well,
that you will.
Definitely.
Because you guys are on a 3-week tour right now, right?
Yeah.
And you started out. You're based in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
and you started out there. Cool. And you guys, did you guys get your start in the DIY scene in Brooklyn? Like, how'd you guys all meet?
Well, I met Caroline at a show. It's actually, I'd been living in New York for 2 years already, and I was always a musician, and I was really like slacking at going to any shows, and this was the first show I actually went to see Shark Muffin randomly with a friend of mine, and that's where I
Cool.
met Caroline, and then just kind of,
Yeah.
On
And I
down
go to
the
a lot of
line.
Shark Muffin shows because, I don't know, I'm really good friends with Tara and Natalie.
Mm-hmm.
And
awesome.
Chris had him like
She's our
asked me
fairy
to,
godmuffin,
yeah,
Tara.
our fairy godmuffin. And
Amazing.
anyway, that's how I met Lizzie. And then our old drummer had gone on like a kind of a friend date with Anna, and they were like, no chemistry, but we could totally be friends. And then
And join a band together.
Yeah, and-
we had
and-
dinner, and I was all I was fronting another band at the time called City Mice that I was in with my sister, and Shaw was like, "Oh, I've got a brand new band, and we have our first show, and it's North Side." And I was like, "Oh, I'm jealous. Like, City Mice doesn't have a North Side show. Do you need another guitarist?" And he was like, "Yes. What are you doing Wednesday?" I was like,
Oh.
And then he messaged us Monday morning, and he was like, "All right, I met this girl. Her name's Anna. She shreds. She's really fucking awesome. You're gonna love her." And then I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Can we like meet her or something?" He was like, "No, just trust me. She's gonna be great." And so then like all 4 of us were just like standing in the room, and like we had these new songs we were working on, and then it was like love. It was like love
Oh
chemistry.
my gosh. I feel like that's a very serendipitous moment. The fact that like you guys just met and then immediately played a show. That's
yeah, we wrote those 5
we wrote
5
5
songs in
or
like
6
2
songs in like 3 weeks. We had our first show like a month after
And Shaw had been in
After we
another
all
band,
met?
Starlight Girls, and he's not like originally a drummer. He's really like a guitarist, producer, and he like had just learned drums, and he was like, no one can see me.
He had an electronic drum
It has
kit.
to be
It was
really
pretty nice.
good.
But then we kind of had a mutual breakup, sort of, right?
he
Kind of.
went on
Yeah.
to become
Sometimes it
like a
happens.
total badass in the VR and augmented reality space. He rules.
Dude.
Yeah. So,
so
I was
it
doing
was-
that, and Jose's here. And
Yeah, and
it's
then
a fabulous
and then we're happy to
chemistry.
have Jose came riding in on a
On a white horse.
On Sylvia, and
On
that's how it
Sylvia.
happened. Amazing. It's all coming together.
Yeah, no,
He
the
came-
reason I joined was because I'm from Colombia, and I was living in New York like 3 years ago, and a really good friend of mine, Maria Jose, shout out to Maria Jose,
Maria Jose.
was working in a cafe with Lyzi at the time, and I didn't know any of them, but then Maria Jose went back to Colombia, and then they were needing a drummer, and they made a post, and my friend tagged me in that post, and I went the same day to see what was the deal, and it was cool. So
he was the first drummer we tried.
And the best.
and the best.
And the best. I agree.
Yeah.
But you guys, whenever you're in Brooklyn, do you still do some DIY shows? And
Oh, yeah. Constantly.
all the
Pretty much
time.
the entire
Put
music
together.
scene is
That's
DIY.
like all it is really. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I've heard there's a lot of closures happening though.
Yeah. Even
Yeah.
with like larger non-DIY venues, like Webster Hall is closing now also.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't
Wait.
know that?
no, but it's
No.
closing
Oops.
because they are
Since
You
renewing.
heard
when?
here first.
Since like earlier this week.
But they're renewing.
New
they're
management.
Right,
Bowery
but
bought
they're
it.
new, right?
They're
Wait.
renewing. They're not closing.
Yeah, it's just different
never mind.
management, and they're going to renovate it and turn it into something else.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
that's-
I did
that's
hear that,
less sad.
Well, anyway,
than I
there are a
originally
lot.
thought.
I mean, I'm sure everyone's familiar with the Shea Stadium
Yeah.
thing and
That was very
the
sad and
Palisades
unfortunate.
thing.
Yeah.
Shea, Palisades,
Glasslands, Death by Audio.
Glasslands. Oh my gosh, I can't even think that far back. Even just within 2017, so many places have closed. Like Suburbia was awesome too. That place is gone.
Damn.
Really?
Is it just throughout Brooklyn
Yeah.
that this is happening? Or
No, it's
Oh.
Cake
pretty
Shop,
much all,
too.
all
The
across
cake
America.
shop was in
Yeah.
Manhattan.
And Cake Shop was a really rad space.
Happens in Canada too.
Epic last week.
Yeah, we had a conversation with the man running sound at our show in Toronto at the Baby G, and he said that he like lived at a DIY space there, and that got raided. He said that since the ghost ship horrible tragedy, it's sort of been a crackdown on
Ugh.
tons and tons of DIY spaces, which is so misplaced. Like,
yeah.
it's just so
Especially because
unfortunate.
I feel like DIY spaces are such like positive spaces.
Totally.
For the most part. And
Oh, yeah.
For a lot of people, I mean, there's still work to be done to
Yeah.
be inclusive and safe across the board, but on the whole, it's such
I
a
think the will is there.
yeah.
yeah.
It's a welcoming environment for so many, and so many people who just like can't find their like home and their like heart anywhere else. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what I would have done.
When you're on tour, do you try and go to the local sort of scenes?
Totally.
Yeah.
Like tonight, we're probably gonna just try to like run around Chicago and find like whatever we can get
Yeah.
into.
And I bet I'm sure you'll find a space.
We also do our best to help out other touring bands who come through New York, like
Oh yeah. It
officially and unofficially.
It
Like,
can be kind of hard to like find venue because you don't know like if you've never played there before, you don't know like what the sound is like
don't
or
really
what's
know
like
what
a
you're
good spot or what other bands are like really gonna be super friendly to play with and
Yeah.
like bring their friends and stuff.
Yeah.
so I mean, most of the bands that we know and we're friends with, we're all doing our tour booking kind of on our own. So it's really important to be able to reach out to sort of friendly faces in other cities and other bands who are doing the same kind of grind to be able to even sort of make it work and make it happen at all.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. All right, well, if you guys want to roll into your next few songs, I'm excited to hear them.
This was our first single. We just put out a record like less than 2 weeks ago, and it's called Drug Tax. It's on Little Dickman, and this is our first single from it.
And it's dedicated to Shaw Walters.
Oh, Shaw wrote this song. Yeah. Yay.
We're on the land
been Audiotree Live with Fruit and Flowers. Thank you guys so much for being here. That was amazing.
Thank you.
And I just want to let everyone know that you can get their EP, Drug Tax. It's out now on Little Dickman Records. And if you're in Chicago, you can either see them tonight if you're lucky, or you can see them tomorrow, definitely at Sub T downstairs. I want to thank the sound engineers in the studio for making it sound awesome, the camera and lighting crew for making it look awesome, and you for watching. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you very much, everybody.